Now what we're going to go into is we're going to start talking about the right pots and pans to start off with. Okay, so pots and pans. Now, many department stores sell complete sets, and that's great to have. I strongly recommend, if you can afford it, great, get them. They come in a variety of sizes and a variety of prices. Obviously, I've spent the money a while ago, and I have what's called an all-clad. I just love these. They're stainless steel, and I use them every day. But again, depending on the budget, it doesn't matter. Those 10-piece, those 12-piece sets are perfect. Just make sure when you're purchasing any pots or pans that they come with lids. It's so important to get the lids because you have no idea how often I'm going to ask you to make sure to put a lid on it, just to make sure your food remains heated, it remains moist, it remains fresh, so when you're ready to cook the meal for your family, you have that freshness taste in all your meals. So make sure you buy whatever pots and pans, whatever set you get, make sure they come with a lid. This one is a 2-quart. This one is a 4-quart pot. Now what makes the 4-quart pot important in all your recipes is you never know between boiling pasta or steaming vegetables. There are some accessories, which is called a steamer, and I'm going to show you what a steamer is, that you place on top of your 4-quart. So this is a 4-quart pot, and what you do is you fill some water in the bottom of the 4-quart pot, and this is an accessory that you can purchase. As you can see, it has a bunch of holes in it, and this is where you put your vegetables in the top of the steamer, place water inside the pot, and voila! You've now created the 4-quart pot into a steamer. And believe me, it steams just about anything you can fit inside of here, and it really, really makes a difference in terms of cooking something rather than just boiling in water, steaming it inside this pot with water. It just makes a huge difference in regards to the quality of your meal. So it's obviously an accessory, it's not a necessity, but getting yourself a strainer sure makes the entire process much more worth it. Okay, so the 2 pots and pans, the 2-quart, the 4-quart with the optional steamer. Make sure you get lids. Let's move on to the frying pans. Okay, this again is a stainless steel frying pan, and you notice there's a little bit of depth in it. There's about an 1.5 to 2-inch dip in that pan, and it's about an 8-inch frying surface. This is a stainless steel version. You don't have to have stainless steel. I'm fine with the coated versions. I just prefer the stainless steel because it's able to distribute the heat evenly when I'm cooking. Again, I purchased this with a lid. You have no idea when I'm making my favorite spaghetti pasta dish how often using the lid to keep the heat inside and to keep the items that I'm cooking nice and moist. The lid makes all the difference in the world. Another thing you will notice, I don't have the copper bottoms. I mean, that's if you run into somebody that you're deciding to shop for your first time on your pots and pans. It's not necessary to have a copper bottom. It sure is a nice feature. If you can find them discounted at some of those discounted department stores, get them. But again, I prefer the stainless steel just because of my cooking preferences and how I feel the food tastes a little better. But the Teflon is just as good. In fact, I use it in a couple of my frying pans as well. So this is your 8-inch, 2-inch deep with the lid frying pan. Okay, let's move on to my 2 frying pans. As you can see, these are with the Teflon treatment on them. And this is a little 4-inch, and this is just above that. This is about a 6-inch frying pan. Now, what makes these two different is you can see, this one's shallow, this one's a little deeper. Why do you want that? Well, when I'm cooking eggs and I want to flip, or I want to take my spatula and I need to flip over my omelets, as you notice, having it a shallow pan makes it easy for me to get in. The deeper pan, forget about it. forget about it. I'm not going to get underneath that egg as well. So the deeper pan is really good for when you're making your breakfast potatoes over the weekend. You want a little deepness in the pan for larger items that are going to be cooked inside of the frying pan, as well as for your sauces. The smaller pan is just one of those things that if I want to cook a quick egg or I'm going to make some pancakes or something and I just need a small cooking surface, the 4-inch is great. And again, depth is important as well as size. Not everybody has a big kitchen. I'm blessed with a very large kitchen. But again, when you're shopping for your essentials, just make sure you have your pots, your pans, frying pans, and pots got to have lids, okay? In terms of the depth and the size, again, take a look at your conditions on your cooking surface. It's always good to have at least a small frying pan, a medium-sized frying pan, and if you can get away with a large frying pan, great. Again, just make sure that you have lids on them. In terms of your pots, I've got the 2-quart and the 4-quart with the steamer. Great cooking tools, good for everyday meals that you're going to learn on single deck cooking. And again, I don't have any preference in terms of the stainless steel versus the Teflon. I use stainless steel, but that doesn't mean you don't have. You have to. Again, it's according to everyone's budget. Now, the final cooking equipment that is necessary for almost every single parent I know out there is the crock pot. I have no idea where I would be without having learned how to cook with a crock pot. I mean, this literally, being newly divorced, this crock pot saved my life. And I have more than one. And I'm going to just tell you, this is a 2-quart crock pot. And what makes this size easy is it can feed a family of 4 very easily. And in terms of cooking all your stews, your soups, it's just one of those things that I cannot tell you enough how much you are going to be impressed with your cooking techniques when you use a crock pot. So this is a very small one. Again, I'm talking very affordable. It's around the $20 range, and all it has is 3 buttons. It basically has the off button, low, high, and warm. What I love about this one is it's very simple and easy to use. Most every dish you're going to learn on single deck cooking is going to request you to put it on the low setting so you can go off, get your stuff started, get on with your day, come back to a home cooked meal on your crock pot. Most everything's going to have a low setting. Now, the one thing I will definitely remind you is you can purchase the crock pots that have timers. Now, that's a nice feature to have. And if you do run across a crock pot that has a timer, what's great about that is you can set it on a high setting for 3 hours or whatever the time you want to set it for, and then once it gets to the 3rd hour, it shuts off to a warm setting, which is ideal because you don't want to overcook your meat. But then again, when it comes to crock pot cooking, it's very rare to overcook it. But what I'm recommending is take a look at your crock pot selections. That was a 2-quart. I have both a 2-quart and a 4-quart. I feed a family of 4, no problem with the 2-quart. Just make sure if there's a feature available to have a timer on it, get the timer, because it's ideal for you to be able to go off to work, put your settings in, set your timer, and not worry about it.